YouTube. It's a great thing, isn't it? It's the reason I have a job. It's how you're watching this video right now. It's also home to tens of millions of creators. Whether it be people who vlog, cover the news, play an instrument, review movies, react to viral content, it's literally a place for anything and everything. But what if YouTube got banned? Sounds like a crazy idea, but if someone told me 6 months ago that TikTok was possibly going to get banned, I'd laugh in their face. Yet here we are, TikTok has been banned in India, independent companies are banning the app on company phones, and as of this recording, the Trump administration is expected to make a decision regarding the app in coming weeks. Will it be banned countrywide? Will there be any restrictions at all? We just gotta wait and see. Now with this in mind, going back to YouTube, it seems, although incredibly unlikely, maybe it is possible after all. Today on Life's Biggest Questions, we're asking, what if YouTube got banned? What's up guys, welcome to LBQ, I'm your host Jared Bronstein, and today we got an interesting one. What if YouTube was banned, eh? That would not sit well with me, I can tell you that right now. Let me know who your favorite YouTuber is in the comments down below, and of course, stick around to the very end of this one for some comment replies, but for now, let's jump right into it. As I just mentioned, the idea of YouTube getting banned seems impossible, and odds are it likely won't ever happen, right? Well, it already did. China, Turkmenistan, North Korea, and Iran, and in the past a handful of other countries at some point have also banned the website. Although the other countries would eventually lift the ban, it's clearly evident that YouTube getting banned isn't such a crazy idea. In fact, it's not crazy at all because it's true, it happens. But with that being said, as we know, all countries are run differently. Some will allow things that others don't, and that's simply the way of life. With that being said, at some point, you also need to question freedom of speech. It's no secret North Korea controls everything going in and out of their country regarding the content people see. The same could be said for some of the other countries who still currently have YouTube banned. And that's just how the country is run. But in Canada, the United States, and almost every other country, freedom of speech is your right. You're allowed to say whatever you want technically, and although sometimes saying the wrong thing to the wrong person can get you maybe hospitalized, technically words aren't illegal. Well, I guess threats are, but the point I'm making is as long as you're not hinting that you're going to commit any crimes, people have the right to say whatever they please. You can make the argument that if YouTube got banned, people would just post their content on Storyfire, Vimeo, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. Many companies have tried to compete with YouTube, but it seems the video sharing website, which was founded in 2005, has always been at the top. I mean, after all, YouTube is responsible for people going viral in the first place. But let's be realistic here. If YouTube were to get banned, it's likely that the reasoning behind so wouldn't just affect YouTube. As you could imagine, in the countries where YouTube is banned, almost every other social media platform is also banned. We're talking Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, they don't allow it. In fact, some countries won't even allow users on the internet at all. Now, as you can see, the point I'm getting at is if for whatever reason YouTube was banned, then this turns into a much bigger question of where am I going to find my favorite vlogger or reaction videos now? Turns into what if my freedoms and rights were infringed upon? The First Amendment in the United States reads, I quote, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This means people can say and do whatever they want so long as they are peaceful. Now, I'm not going to get political and talk about the protests that have happened lately in the United States. Some will argue the authorities' invention is warranted, while others feel it's an infringement of their First Amendment. Truth be told, if as per the definition of the First Amendment, the protests were peaceful and lawful, then technically speaking the police force is in violation of their own country's law. But as we know, there's ways around things and loopholes, which is how people in North Korea, who don't have access to the internet as easily as we do, still find a way. This is important to keep in mind as I'll be coming back to this later in the video. But we need to first look at why YouTube would get banned in the first place. And I think the most obvious answer is to just look at the countries who currently do ban the platform. They want control over what people see. Now you could make the argument that the United States, Canada, and really any country that has YouTube already does this. Specifically speaking on the United States, they have the FCC, which is the Federal Communications Commissions. According to their official website, the Federal Communications Commission regulates interstate and international communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, and cable in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and U.S. territories. An independent U.S. government agency overseen by Congress, the Commission is the United States' primary authority for communications law, regulation, and technological innovation. So the government regulates what we see and hear, but who's the one actually deciding what we should and shouldn't see on our TVs and hear on our radios? The government. As you know, cable television doesn't have any nudity or swear words, and you could thank or blame the FCC for that. All joking aside, the FCC has come under scrutiny in the past for, in a sense, censoring and denying freedom of speech. However, people still have the freedoms of the internet, and now with streaming services such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, and so on, well, the FCC isn't in control of any of that. Independent broadcasters are in control of what they air, which is why HBO isn't included in your regular cable package, but also doesn't have any commercials, shows nudity, and allows swearing. You paying extra per month for access to the channel is literally how they make their money and stay in business. The FCC site actually reads, because obscenity is not protected by the First Amendment, it is prohibited on cable, satellite, satellite and broadcast TV and radio. However, the same rules for indecency and profanity do not apply to cable, satellite TV, and satellite radio because they are subscription services. Going back to YouTube, it's a free platform where people could say or do whatever they want. But again, it needs to be within YouTube's policy. There's certain things that YouTube doesn't allow, and again, because they are an independent company run by Google, they can decide what they want to allow and not allow. As of late, hate speech, theories of certain kinds, and even certain words, videos, or images are enough to get your video and possibly entire channel banned. Now, the FCC has tried to actually regulate what YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media sites show, but as of now, at least that we're aware of, they don't. Still, these platforms, especially more recently, have implemented tactics to let readers and users of the apps know when something involves explicit content or is possibly fake news. They don't remove the content from the platform, but instead almost give people a buffer letting them know what they should expect to see or read. That's incredibly different from censoring or limiting speech. They still allow it, but they put out a disclaimer, if you will, just so they cover themselves. But if YouTube along with other social media sites were banned, what would that really mean? Again, it depends on how large of a scale. If we're talking worldwide, then at least in a sense, everyone is being dealt the same hand. Across the board is not allowed. But if specific countries allowed it while others banned it, which is currently where we're at, that would certainly raise some questions and concerns. Specifically referencing the United States, again, that would in a sense be an infringement of the First Amendment. And of course, it's likely that whoever did implement the ban would be in office. At the time of this recording, it's President Donald Trump, so hypothetically speaking, if he banned YouTube tomorrow, some way, somehow, odds are things wouldn't end well. Given the fact that technically the President of the United States, and I guess the Senate, would be breaking the First Amendment, well, they'd have to answer the call. But then that begs the question, how could Trump even think about banning TikTok? Isn't that the same thing? And here's where the loophole I mentioned before comes into play. There's always ways around the law, and regarding Trump hypothetically banning YouTube, if he was able to come up with a strong enough reason that the platform was a threat to the citizens of the United States and the country as a whole, well then technically he wouldn't be breaking the First Amendment. Instead, he'd be doing his due diligence as president, putting the people first. What the reason for the ban could be, I really couldn't tell you. But odds are, if one were to get banned, then it's likely the others would as well. And this leads me to believe the country would start to censor anything and everything that people see, which would be unconstitutional and in the most extreme case, could possibly lead to a revolution. Realistically though, if for whatever reason YouTube got banned, say for security reasons, but no other platform or app were affected, then I think it's quite evident what would happen. The same way all these Vine stars transitioned onto YouTube or TikTok, all the content creators on YouTube would just transition onto another platform, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you get the idea. Of course, this is under the impression that YouTube is the only platform banned for whatever reason. It also means I would have to hope that somehow we adjust, otherwise I'd be looking for another job. But fear not guys, YouTube isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's one of the biggest websites in the world, and if Adpocalypse didn't take the platform down, nothing will. At least, I hope, because I don't want to go back to Starbucks. And that does it for this one, guys. As always, let us know your thoughts below and what you would do if YouTube got banned in your country. For now, let's reply to some comments from the video. What if TikTok was banned in America? KetchupBot404 said, then I would no longer see cringy people doing stupid dances everywhere. I wanted to read the comment without laughing, but I couldn't. Like, even when I sat at my desk and I saw the comment, I started laughing. So I just wanted to read it as genuinely as I read it, and that is exactly how I read it. It was a great comment, dude. I don't disagree. I've made a few TikToks, but it's not me dancing because I'm not a good dancer and I would not want to put that out there. Rabib said the world would be a slightly better place. Without TikTok, I don't know. Like, I always thought it was like a dumb app, and then one day I just checked it out. It's actually very entertaining. Some people are very, very good, and I'll give them that. I just watched YouTuber Play Games said, I never use TikTok. YouTube exists for a reason. Well, hopefully you just don't see this video then. Anyways guys, that's it for this one. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein. You guys have been watching LBQ. Feel free to let us know some questions or videos you'd like to see on our channel in the comments down below, and we'll see you soon.